Hi everybody, welcome back to Flames Pyro Art for Beginners, and we're looking at the next stage of a lotus flower project to show some basic shading techniques. So I wanted to go through the whole process of preparing to start the wood burning. So the first stage obviously was the sanding of the wood. Next is printing your image off to the correct size for your board, which I've got here. Now what I've done, because I've printed it at the top of the sheet, I know I've got a straight edge to the top of the image, so if I line that up with the top of my board, put some masking tape on either side, cut a piece off, get it nice and level, and then that is in place, ready to transfer your image. It won't move around, so you won't lose your place where you were marking out, which can be frustrating if you're transferring the image of a person or an animal and you put the eye and the nose and everything in, and then the piece of paper slips out of position and all the rest of the image you're transferring then all falls out of line, and then you find yourself in a real mess. So stick it down both sides, well, so it can't shift around on your wood. Then transferring wise, there's a load of different methods that people use. People are always trying to find the perfect way to transfer an image to the wood. The way I do it personally is using my own piece of homemade graphite paper. This one's coming towards the end of its life now, but basically it's just a sheet of printer paper layered up with a graphite stick over and over till you build up a good layer of graphite onto the piece of paper. Then place this underneath your image and you can start transferring. What I personally use is a mechanical pencil, because the very fine is the tip, so I can transfer out, I can push down relatively hard, but then start just drawing out over all the transfer lines that I'm going to need. You could start out by just going around all the outside. The good thing with this is you will see where you've been with your transferring as well, because as you're drawing over the top of your printout, you'll see the areas that you've marked onto your wood already. At this stage, all we're looking to do is get the outlines to all the shape of all the petals. We're not going into like mega detail at this stage. We're just adding them key points, the break points and things each petal. Let's say this one here has got a bowl, so we could just mark in there that we know there's like a bowl shape to that piece. So I'm applying a bit of pressure, obviously not enough to snap the lead. But enough so I can get that graphite down onto my board. Sometimes you can play with the image as well and get so you can see detail, because sometimes you will print images off and they'll be so dark that you just can't see any of the key points that you need to see when transferring your image over to make the job easier for you, to make life easy. So you can play around with your photos and your photo editors before you print. I've done this one in like, took a lot of the colour out of it. Just want to mark in all the petals. There's a petal coming from underneath there. That's another area where we're going to be able to show detail and depth with the shading. You can mark in like shadows. There is a shadow. All this stage is, the way I look at it, is the start of building your jigsaw. If you look at it like a jigsaw, there's different pieces all to slot into place. You so add as much or as little detail as you need. So these points are just setting like the boundary edges. To my petals at this stage, and I'm not looking to mark in every little bit of detail. Just want the shape. And here's it. This would be a wonderful piece here. This petal coming from underneath the flower, bursting up into the sunlight. Got a shading edge there. Trust me, you don't need to be exact. Try and be as careful as you can in marking out all your transfer lines. you will find that the graphite on this transfer method rubs out very easily. So if you haven't made your lines, perfectly straight, not to worry, you can easily erase what's on the wood in a minute when I show you when we finish this transfer. You can easily rub out. I've got another phone doing an update. And your reference photo is what you're going to actually work from. That's the one that'll show you all the detail. On a standard piece of printer paper, you're not going to get like a 4K image. You're going to get a basic image like this. It doesn't show you all the detail and shading. That's what it does on your tablet screen or your phone or your laptop screen, whatever you're using. Also at this stage, when you're marking out like I am, it starts to build that muscle memory for the piece of art you're doing. It helps you to get a feel for the shapes, and we haven't got any detail there to go off. We'll catch this leading edge, this petal here. Even though it's got a leaf going over it, we're going to ignore the leaf. You see here is where it cut the curl line, so we'll mark that in. That's where the petal like folds up over, so we want to capture that. Again here, another one where there is a bowl to that petal, and then we've got, looks like more of a leaf. To the lotus flower. It's just a pretty flower, and it's got so many opportunities for us to show shading. It's a really good piece to learn how to shade your pyrography art. So we have one last look over it. You can also refer back to your reference photos at this point, because like I said, you're not going to get the quality of image that you've got on your computer screen So you can always refer back to that as well if there's bits like here I can't see. But I can guesstimate that petal's going round there. There may be things I've missed, but we can add them later. So hopefully now we've gone round all the outside of the image, and as you can see quite heavily we have all the petals transferred. I know it looks at the moment quite daunting, but it's not once we get started. But I'll just show you very quickly how easily this graphite paper rubs out. We'll use the end of this mechanical pencil eraser. It erases, I mean that's with a really old eraser, it erases so easily off the wood. It's a great method for transferring your image onto the wood. So that's stage 1 done of this flower, and the next stage will be the fun part where we actually start wood burning and shading and capturing this flower in all its depth and beauty. So I shall check in with you again once we touch down with the pyrography pens and hopefully start opening up the world of shading and give you some techniques and tips on how to improve your shading. Okay, thank you for watching. I shall see you in the next part of this lotus flower project. Take care, happy burning, and remember, every hour of burning is an hour of learning. Speak to you all soon, guys. Take care for now. Bye.